Hey guys, Jonah here. It's going to be a quick one for a change. It's going to be a beer review. And the reason why is I'm driving over to London. I know, driving to the Big Smoke. Staying with my mum actually, who's still with us and looking after her, doing some odd jobs for her because tomorrow I'm in charge of a judging table at the Ealing Beer Festival. I have to get there really early in the morning, and yeah, getting from where I am to Ealing really early in the morning means I think there's a train at 4:30. But yeah, that's not going to happen. So I'm going to stay with my mum, go to the beer festival. Unfortunately, because I'm looking after a table, it means I can't actually judge the beers, which is a shame. But afterwards, I might sample a few of the ones that they've had to judge myself, although it won't be official. But yeah, I'll be doing some beer admin tomorrow. Um, so yeah, I've got to get on the road. So I'm going to have one of these before I go. Um, just for the drive. It's called Alpaca DDH IPA. The potential problem is it's 6.5% beer in a big can, but I'm gonna have some food as well. So I'm not gonna be hammered or anything, and I'm literally having one beer. Um, so what have we got in said beer? Well, we have got water, barley, oats, and wheat, and a few hops. As I said already, 6.6%, I should say. The hops in here are Amarillo, Citra, and Mosaic. And there's a thing there about salt. If you want to read all that stuff, you can obviously read it. Stop the video and read it. But I'm just going to read this little bit on the bottom. It's an alpaca, the thing, like a llama, but a small one. The fleece from the alpaca is highly prized for its fibers and silky way they make things. Make sheep's offering feel like wire wool. Apparently, it's softer than wire wool, right? Our alpaca double dry hopped IPA. Every bit as luxurious as its namesake, from intense tropical hop aroma to guava, melon, and honey notes. Interesting. Crisp and punchy, tropical fruits, beautifully balanced with a dry, bitter finish. Interesting, that description of those flavors, because of the hops, Amarillo, Citra, and Mosaic. It's not, yeah, it's not what I would get from those hops usually. Let's see. Oh, and by the way, it's got a black top. But silver bottom. Come on, guys. Give me a black bottom. That's what I want. All these black tops. Some blokes like a black bottom. It's not all about the top. Sometimes it's about the bottom. Right, let us see what we get. Now, because this is a big can, I'm pulling out the big guns. I'm going to do a pint can. I know usually I have a sort of nice tulip, but today I'm pulling out the big bad boys. And like I said, my usual nonsense will be, a bit quicker in this one. There we go, alpaca, that's what it looks like. And that'll be a photo for the front of the video. Now, I am surprised we have got literally a fingernail's head. Look, the head has totally gone. Not surprised with slightly stronger beer. 6.6 isn't that strong, really, in the grander scheme of things. But also, because it's double dry hopped, it's got a lot of hop oil in there. And like the good Dr. Charlie Bamforth, I know I've talked about him before, he will tell you hop oil in a beer will reduce the amount of foam, the head. So I'm not surprised about that at all. Oh, lovely smell. Look at that though, really thick, cloudy. It looks the part. It looks like a murky one. And yeah, tropical fruits, definitely. There's a bit of kind of sourness there too, and I'm getting quite a boozy aroma from this. And a lot of kind of green hops, which I'm imagining are come from the Citra. Guys, if you like this, if you're entertained by this video, why not think about subscribing to the channel? It's worth a like at the very least, or at least a watch. Maybe you should decide whether you're going to click like at the end, but my advice is give me a thumbs up and click like. Cheers and beers. Oh. Now, where should we start? Well, let's see. Even though we did not have much head, we have a nice thick tide line on the top of that beer, which is a really good sign. Fruity, definitely. The Amarillo in there gives that nice kind of orange thing. Obviously, the Mosaic is giving me tropical fruits. Maybe not so much on the Citra at the moment, but what is happening is the oats and the wheat in here are combining to give a bit of that creaminess and turn this into a nice kind of tropical kind of hop shake, shall we call it? It's not quite a milkshake, but yeah, kind of hop shake. So it sort of nicely ties everything together. Oh, pardon me, dear viewer. What it does mean is this does taste like a lot of the other kind of new style pale ales that are around. I guess it is a NEIPA, so let's say an IPA instead of a pale ale, but you know, a lot of them are pale ales too. Citra and Mosaic are two of the most commonly used hops in the world, Citra being the most commonly grown hop. And yeah, I'm not surprised at all that this bad boy is the way it tastes, and obviously the Amarillo. Weirdly though, I usually get more of a kind of marmalade taste to Amarillo. In this beer, it's given me that nice kind of orange kind of edge um, that then mixes with the tropical fruits from the Mosaic. I have to say it's a really good one. It's just a shame that there are a lot of beers that taste the same. A lot of beers taste like this. Maybe less orangey, maybe less milkshakey, but yeah, this is a really good example though. Cheers. Oh, okay, nice. Second sip is giving me more of the Citra taste in there. I'm a firm believer that your taste buds fire in different ways depending um, on their receptors, things like thiols as well, of which there's a lot going on in here. So this time I'm getting less of that kind of tropicalness. I'm picking up a lot more on the kind of green stuff, the hedgerow, the sort of wet grass cuttings that always, for me at least, gives me that kind of citra thing. It's that hedgerow, it's that green, it's that walking through a pine forest after the rain and deeply inhaling that kind of green, kind of verdant thing, which for me is Citra. Citra has been around a long time as a hop. Um, I've had Citra beers, I believe, although I haven't recorded it properly, but I believe I had a Citra Pale Ale back in the 1990s. So, yeah, absolutely nuts. It's been around for a long time, but maybe not as used as much as it is now. Um, the other thing that the oats and the wheat do is they give it not only that kind of cloudiness, but they kind of give it a thicker kind of taste. It is not a milkshake IPA. It's not that thick, but it is definitely an average thickness. And a lot of the time, pale ales don't quite get there. Then again, this is a 6.5%er. They haven't spared any of the expense in throwing a shed load of hops in here. So why would they try and save money by skimping on things like the oats and the wheat? I believe they put quite a lot in there too. Oh, and it's really long, lingering kind of aftertaste there. Back to the tropical fruits in the aftertaste, although I was getting a lot of the green stuff up front. Now in my mouth, yeah, back to the tropical kind of stuff, which is really, really nice. Oh, pardon me. This has been in the fridge for at least a week, so perhaps because I'm belching quite a lot, and dear viewer, please don't condemn me for that. Anyone that drinks beer will know that belching and beer kind of go together. But what I was going to say was when you chill a carbonated drink, doesn't have to be beer, could be a soda or something like that. When you chill it down, the carbon dioxide gets reabsorbed into the fluid, into the liquid. So then when you open it, there's not much bubbling going on, but the carbon dioxide is in there. Of course, when you drink it, it warms up, hits your stomach, produces lots more carbon dioxide. Those bubbles turn into a gas. Belch time. So, do I need to apologise? Probably not. It is what it is. How are we doing? Wow, I've gone over the 10-minute mark. I've got to go, and I'm not even wearing my watch. I'm going to finish this one off. So let's see what we get this last sip. Usually, this is the strongest. Oh, by that, I don't mean strongest alcohol. I mean strongest tasting. Because all the particulates, especially in a thick kind of beer like this, float to the bottom. It happens in the can, and then when you pour it out, some of that stuff, especially if it's things like yeast or byproducts, proteins, that kind of thing, they'll float to the bottom. That's what I think, anyway. Look at that. So head watch time or foam watch. Yeah, line, but nothing too thick. But I'm not surprised by that beer, to be honest. This one is a pretty good one. I did manage to get this from a supermarket deal, which brought this beer down to under £3. I think it was about £2.50, maybe £2.60 for this big can. So it's a stronger beer, 6.6% in a big can. Lovely. This has been your loving Uncle Jono, drinking beers quickly this time so you guys don't have to. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. If you want to see what's going on at the Ealing Beer Festival and what I'm drinking, why don't you go online? Why don't you hook up with me on Untapped? You can see what I'm drinking, you can see what other people are drinking. And the beer list is actually up online if you go to, I think it's ealingbeerfestival.co.uk, or find them through the Camera website. That's where I will be tomorrow. Take care. Uncle Jono will return with another beer review real soon.